bákọ̀ tí ó sọ̀rọ̀ láwọn ọ̀dọ́ ti ṣaṣara bàgbó pé kí gbogbo àwọn oníṣẹ́ bí ó kù lágbègbè wa ni wọ́n bá níjọba sọ pé kámórí wá ká fọrùn lẹ̀.
tá ń sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ àdìo ìwọ náà sì tún pẹ̀lú ọ̀bọ jáwúra mi bí wọ́n mọ̀ pé nǹkan tíjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ń sọ ni pé a lè fi nǹkan tó kù díẹ̀ káàtó ṣàtúnṣe nǹkan tí ò dáa ó dáa àdìo láti gbẹ̀ tí wàá déhùn ṣé eégún kan ti wá yọrẹ sí babaláwo yín bí.
rárá o bàbá.
ní nǹkan tó jẹ́ pé kẹ́yìn ọ̀dọ́ tó fọn níjọba ti yàwó tùlù fún ẹ̀ṣọ́ aláàbò Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn pé kí wọ́n fi tọ̀gbẹ́ tààlà láti lé gbogbo àwọn ẹni ibi jáde ní kọ̀lọ̀fín wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ṣètò ọlọ́pàá scrodom ibi fáàbò gbogbo wa nípìnlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ náà ni ṣèjọba tó wá ṣèyún ní òwà rẹ̀ nìràn lẹ́rù ni ó tún mọ́ ọkọ̀ fẹ́ bí.
ọ̀rọ̀ yín yé mi bàbá àmọ́ ọ̀tọ̀ ní táwọn èèyàn mọ̀ ń wíìkì.
àwọn ará bíi ti tòṣèlú bọ̀ ọ́nù nígbà àtàkùté wọn mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta òré ó rí wọn lórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára táwọn ti ròyìn òfegè ní ibi láti sọ̀jọba gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé ní súná bú ni.
bàbá kí là á wàá ṣe ṣé ẹ mọ̀ pọ́rọ̀ sọkúsọ bíi náà nú ẹ̀rùn ni.
ẹ̀yin ọ̀dọ́ tẹ́ ẹ nífẹ̀ẹ́ ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ dénú náà ni kẹ́ ẹ sọ fún gbogbo òlù pé orí ìpinnu àṣà ò gbọ́dọ̀ wọlé gbẹ́yẹlé níjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ dúró lé.
ó ti yé mi bàbá mo sì ń lọ rèé fọn rere rẹ̀ náà nu. iléeṣẹ́ ètò ìròyìn àṣà ohun ìrìn àjò afẹ́ tìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ló ń kéde.
Beautiful Tuesday morning to you, and it's good to have you live once again on another wonderful edition of Newspaper Review from Aloore Radio, where we are transmitting from the GSM studio at the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism Secretariat. My name is Ene Asuko, and I'll be bringing you the newspaper review from the Nation newspaper.
A very wonderful morning to you out there. Hi, I'm Olukemi Omotosho, and I have with me the Nigerian Tribune.
Okay, so my first story from the Nation newspaper: 100% pay rise likely for striking varsity teachers. Buhari may lead talks. Prolonged class boycotts dangerous to youth's future. NUC cautions. You can read more on page 5 of the Nation newspaper.
The same story can be found on the front page. It says federal government in frantic moves to end ASU strike. Holds meetings with vice chancellors, others. Aviation union threatens to shut down airport. That can be found on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune.
And this is coming from Oyo State. Makinde inaugurates Lawal as deputy. Page 28, The Nation.
Oyo Assembly approves Bayo Lawal as deputy governor after removing Olaniyan. That can be found on page 2 with a rider. New deputy governor assigned 3 supervisory roles. My removal can't stand test of time. Olaniyan.
And the presidential aspirant of the APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to present Shetima tomorrow. That can be found on page 5 of the Nation newspaper. Still on politics, Osun Guba fallout. PDP, APC, bandy words over Adeleke. With a couple of riders, PDP members shoot self dead celebrating Adeleke's victory. And US congratulates Adeleke. Commend INEC's security agencies want Nigerian citizens to register. That can be found on page 23 of the Nigerian Tribune. Federal government silence as marketers hike petrol pump price. Page 5, the Nation newspaper. This one is on a sad note. It says, again, fire destroys Okoba Plank Market in Lagos. That can be found on page 27 of the Nigerian Tribune. And I have a picture on the front page, the scene of a fire incident at Kara Street, Okoba, Ebutemeta, Lagos on Monday. And this is a sad story. Gunmen kill soldier, 9 others in Plateau and Imo State. You can read more on page 2 of the Nation newspaper. And NDLEA opens case against Abakiari, calls false witness. That can be found on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune. Nigeria, Netherlands sign pact on food security. Page 3, the Nation newspaper. Why Nigeria must diversify from crude oil exports.
NEPC boss says. That can be found on page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune.
And from the City and Crime page, IGP orders probe of singer Portable over 1 million boys.
And the same story can be found on page 27 of the Nigerian Tribune. Cultism. Police to investigate Portable over link to 1 million boys. And I have the story from page 28 of the Nigerian Tribune that says Zamfara government suspends Emir over turbaning of bandits as title holder.
And I have these two stories. Fake soldier held extorting Adamawa residents, and Kuje jailbreak. Police rearrest Kano-bound escapee. That can be found on page 2 of the Nation newspaper.
On health, Ghana confirms first cases of deadly Marburg virus. Federal government to deploy COVID-19 strategy to address Lassa fever. Health Minister. The two stories can be found on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune.
And stakeholders intensify call on Buhari to inaugurate NDDC board. And aviation fuel, it's 892 naira per litre. That can be found on page 5 of the Nation newspaper.
And AFDB said signs $460,000 part to deploy surveillance system in capital markets.
MTN Nigeria kicks off Yellow Care campaign. And I have the story. Sundry Foods gets Augusto A rating, outlook stable. Both stories can be found on page 8 of the Nation newspaper.
Monkeypox. World Health Organization enlightens Maiduguri residents on preventive measures. One dies as strange ailment hits Delta School. The two stories can be found on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune.
United Nations Human Rights Council appoints Olawuye African rep. And Ogunland Judicial Commission seeks MDA's support. Both stories can be found on page 15 of the Nation newspaper.
Experts proposes strategies to cushion African from global price food shock. That can be found on page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune.
We will restructure Nigeria, says party's presidential candidate. And Sanwo-Olu's wife advises volunteers. Both story once again can be found on page 22 of the Nation newspaper.
And from the crime page, I have the story that says from burglary to armed robbery, how I shot, killed our victim for beaming torch at us suspects. That can be found on page 17 of the Nigerian Tribune. And with that, we'll go on a short break to be back for the details of the headlines read so far.
ìyá ọmọlúàbí ni kó ṣèlérí kó sì mú lérí rẹ̀ ṣe lásìkò polongo òdìbò ni gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé ti sọ pé ìṣèjọba òun kò ní ṣàdédé lé ẹnikẹ́ni níbi tí wọ́n ti ń jẹ tí wọ́n ti ń mu láì ṣe pé òun pèsè ibòmíì fún wọn láti má déhùn yìí ṣẹ. ìgbìmọ̀ amúṣẹ́yá ti ń rí sí ìtọ́jú àwọn oníbàárà nílùú Ìbàdàn tí kó gbogbo àwọn oníbàárà tó wà ní Sábó lọ sí agbègbè kan ní Akínyẹlé, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n sì ṣe káàkiri gbogbo ìlú Ìbàdàn. ètò ààbò ẹ̀mí òun ìgbé ayé ìrọ̀rùn níjọba ti pèsè fún àwọn oníbàárà yìí níbẹ̀. èyí ni ó wá gbòdẹ́kun fáwọn amòòkùnṣìkà tí wọ́n ń ṣe bí oníbàárà láti ṣiṣẹ́ ẹbí wọn. ìjọba wa ń rọ gbogbo ẹ̀yin onínú dúndùn ọlọ́rẹ tí mọ́ ń tọ́jú àwọn oníbàárà yìí pé kẹ́ ẹ máa lọ bá wọn lákínyẹlé láti ṣèṣe ọ̀rẹ́ yín. ààbò tó péye ti wà fún ẹ̀yin àtàwọn tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ ta lọ́rẹ níbẹ̀. ìgbìmọ̀ amúṣẹ́yá tó ń rí sí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn oníbàárà nípìnlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ló ń kéde.
You're welcome back to Newspaper Review on Aloore Radio. We are transmitting from the GSM studio at the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism, Secretariat Agodi, Ibadan. On Facebook, it is www.facebook.com/Aloore Radio. YouTube is at Aloore Radio. Our website remains www.alooreradio.com, and our studio line is 09039853731. 09039853731. My first story that I'm going to take in details is taken from page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune. ASU strike. Federal government holds meetings with VCs, others. The federal government on Monday held series of meetings as part of the last-ditch effort to end the over 5-month-old strike embarked upon by the academic staff of University Union, ASU. While the Minister of Education, Adamu, and Executive Secretary of National Universities Commission, NUC, Professor Abubakar Rashid, held a meeting with the vice chancellors of universities at NUC Abuja. Another high-level meeting of government officials was also held at a different location. Rashid, speaking during 2022 retreat for vice chancellors of Nigerian universities and directors of inter-university centers, urged some of the vice chancellors to go with him for another meeting on ways to resolve the ongoing ASUU strike. It was gathered that the leadership of ASUU would be meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari today. For the rest of that story, turn to page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune. ASUU strike, federal government holds meetings with VC's orders.
100% pay rise likely for striking varsity teachers. An end to the strike by university teachers may be in sight. There were strong indications yesterday that they may get a 100% pay rise. President Muhammadu Buhari has decided to wade into the protracted crisis. He may meet all those involved in the negotiation before opening talks with the Academic Staff Union of Universities. For more details, turn to page 4 of the Nation newspaper. 100% pay rise likely for striking varsity teachers.
On page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune, federal government to deploy COVID-19 strategy to address Lassa fever. The federal government has said it will deploy strategy already put in place to address COVID-19 pandemic to ensure decline in Lassa fever case fatality rates until it ceases to become a public health threat in Nigeria. The Minister of Health, Dr. Osage Onaire, made this known on Monday during his speech at the National Training Workshop on Case Management for Lassa fever, saying in the last 5 years, the country witnessed a sharp rise in the number of confirmed cases of Lassa fever. He reiterated the need to build health capacities to adequately manage cases when they arise. The training was organized by the Federal Ministry of Health and the Irusel Specialist Teaching Hospital with the support from the World Health Organization, with the team reducing mortality Lassa fever patients with sub-team building capacity for Lassa fever case management. For the rest of that story, turn to page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune. Federal government to deploy COVID-19 strategy to address Lassa fever.
IGP orders probe of singer Portable over 1 million boys. Inspector General of Police IGP Usman Baba yesterday ordered a probe into the claim by pop singer Habib Okikiola, popularly known as Portable, regarding the formation of the notorious 1 million cult boys cult. In a trending video, Portable appeared to have said he founded the gang terrorizing parts of Lagos State. According to a statement issued by Force spokesman CSP Olumiwa Adejobi, the IGP directed the Lagos State Police Commissioner to investigate the statement and take necessary legal action. For more details, turn to page 2 of the Nation newspaper. IGP orders probe of singer Portable over 1 million boys.
Cocaine deal, NDLEA opens case against DCP Abba Kyari, calls first witness. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has opened its case against the suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police, DCP Abba Kyari, who is standing trial on an 8-count charge bordering on conspiracy, obstruction, and dealing in cocaine and other related offences before the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja. At the resumed trial on Monday, the NDLEA brought a commander of narcotics attached to its forensic unit, Mrs. Patricia Afolabi, to testify as its first witness, led in evidence by the prosecution counsel, Sunday Joseph. The witness told the court that part of a job specification involves receiving and conducting forensic analysis on drug exhibits. For the rest of that story, you can turn to page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune. Cocaine deal, NDLEA opens case against DCP Abba Kyari, calls first witness.
Okoye, INEC licensed with CBN over storage of election materials. The Commissioner for Information and Voter Education at the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Festus Okoye, has said the Commission is still in talks with the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, over storage of election materials. The statement comes weeks after INEC chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu said sensitive election materials would no longer be routed through the CBN. Yakubu had said the electoral body never had any issue with the CBN since the partnership started, but owing to current circumstances, an alternative would be found. From what it was turned to page 3 of the Nation newspaper, Okoye, INEC licensed with CBN over storage of election materials.
Still on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune, Master Bakers Association threatens 2 weeks withdrawal of service nationwide. Master Bakers and Caterers Association of Nigeria has threatened 2 weeks withdrawal of services if government fails to intervene in the operational challenges of its members. The national body of the association has resolved to begin the down tool as from Wednesday this week. The chairman of Kogi State chapter of the association, Gabriel Bamdele Adeniyi, who gave the hint while briefing journalists in Lokoja on Monday, said that members of the state branch are ready to join the strike if the national body gives the go-ahead. The chairman explained that the proposed strike follows series of challenges confronting the bakery and catering industry in Nigeria, which remained unattended to by governments of the day. For the rest of that story, turn to page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune. Master Bakers Association threatens 2-week withdrawal of service nationwide.
2023 APC organizing secretaries call for reconciliation of aggrieved members. All Progressives Congress APC organizing secretaries yesterday called for crisis resolution and reconciliation with aggrieved members ahead of next year's general election. The Forum of Organizing Secretaries urgently urged the party leadership to initiate the reconciliation to avoid the escalation of conflicts in some state chapters. From what it was turn to page 4 of the Nation newspaper. 2023 APC organizing secretaries call for reconciliation of aggrieved members.
Why Nigeria must diversify from crude oil exports, NEPC boss. The Nigerian Export Promotion Council, NEPC, has reiterated the need to promote non-oil exports for Nigeria to meet its national and global economic demands. Dr. Ezra Yakazuzak, Executive Director CEO of NECP, said this at a 5-day export promotion capacity building program which began on Monday in Abuja. According to the news agency of Nigeria, the program designed to train stakeholders in the export sector was organized by Fidelity Bank PLC in partnership with the Lagos Business School and NEPC. For the rest of that story, you can turn to page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune. Why Nigeria must diversify from crude oil exports, NEPC boss.
Stakeholders intensify call on Buhari to inaugurate NDDC board. The call for inauguration of the Niger Delta Development Commission NDDC Board of Directors has intensified. Members of the All Progressives Congress APC in the Niger Delta have written the National Working Committee and President Muhammadu Buhari over the issue. They warned that the party risks losing votes in the 2023 general elections in the region if the board is not constituted. From what it is, turn to page 5 of the Nation newspaper. Stakeholders intensify call on Buhari to inaugurate NDDC board.
On politics, Oyo Deputy Governor Olaniyan removed from office. Panel indicts him for alleged diversion of contract funds, insubordination, abuse of office, as Bayalawa sworn in new Deputy Governor assigned 3 supervisory roles. Deputy Governor of Oyo State, Mr. Rauf Olaniyan, has been removed from office. His removal followed the State House of Assembly's adoption of the report of the 7-man panel constituted by the Chief Judge to investigate allegations of gross misconduct against the Deputy Governor as its plenary on Monday. The Assembly, with 25 lawmakers of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) present at the day's plenary, approved Olaniyan's removal from office, leaning on Section 188, subsection 9 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, as read by Majority Leader of the Assembly, Honorable Sonjo Adedoyin, the deputy governor was indicted of all allegations, complaints in the Chief Kolade Molade-led panel report. The panel had recommended the removal of the deputy governor, alleging that Olaniyan ignored its summons and failed to file his defense and responses to all allegations leveled against him. For the rest of that story, turn to page 22 of the Nigerian Tribune. Oyo Deputy Governor Olaniyan removed from office.
Sanwo-Olu's wife advises volunteers. Lagos State Governor's wife, Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, has urged volunteers participating in the 4th Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu and Kadiri Obafemi Hamzat Healthcare Mission International to offer excellent services. The governor's wife spoke at the volunteers training on July 16 at Adeyemi Bero Auditorium in Alausa, Lagos. She praised organizers for the increase in volunteers. We started this program in February 2019 and we had 150 volunteers, and this year the volunteers have grown to an impressive 961, she said. For more details, turn to page 22 of the Nation newspaper. Sanwo-Olu's wife advises volunteers.
Still on politics, Oshuguba fallout, PDP, APC in war of words over Adeleke. As more reactions trail the outcome of last Saturday governorship poll in Osun State, chieftains of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and the All Progressive Congress, APC, engaged in a war of words over the victory of Senator Ademola Adeleke at the poll. While PDP chieftains said the emergence of the party candidate as indicative of what awaits APC in the 2023 general election, their APC counterparts said PDP leaders were only deluding themselves. For instance, the Lagos State chapter of the APC described the hope of the PDP of winning the state in 2023 as a mirage. According to the party, governance is in a state like Lagos is too important to be entrusted in the hands of some daydreamers who have absolutely nothing to offer, it says. For the rest of that story, you can turn to page 23 of the Nigerian Tribune. Oshuguba fallout, PDP, APC in war of words over Adeleke.
Shetima's choice, a winning strategy. The political support group Ogun State for Bat Forum 2023 has hailed Asiwaju Bola Tinubu for picking Senator Kashim Shettima as his running mate. In a statement yesterday by its coordinator, Prince Bayo Ogumeno, it praised Tinubu for making the wisest decision. It dismissed the belief that Osun governorship poll was a threat to Tinubu's presidential victory in Southwest, alleging the poll was a protest against ex-governor Rauf Aregbesol's rule. For more details, turn to page 22 of the Nation newspaper. Shetima's choice, a winning strategy.
And the last story I'm going to read is taken from page 27 of the Nigerian Tribune. Again, fire destroys Okoba plant market in Lagos. Property worth millions of nairas were on Monday afternoon destroyed as fire again ravaged the Okoba plant and building materials market in Ebutemeta area of Lagos State. The incident created panic among residents and traders as the marketers who attempted to salvage some of their goods. The fire, which occurred at Kadara Street at about 1:45 p.m., destroyed makeshift shops used as stores for different kinds of woods. The cause of the fire was still unknown as of the time of filing the report. For the rest of that story, you can turn to page 27 of the Nigerian Tribune. Again, fire destroyed Okoba plant market in Lagos.
And that's where we draw the curtain close on this edition of Newspaper Review live from Aloore Radio. We are transmitting from the GSM studio at the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism Secretariat at Agodi, Ibadan. Don't forget you can follow us on all social media platforms, on Facebook at Aloore Radio, on YouTube at Aloore Radio, or you visit our website on www.aloreradio.com, and you can also download our application via the Google Play Store. Once again, I am Ineo Asuko. Thanks for joining us and do have a great day.
My name remains Olukemi Omotosho. Thanks for listening and have a wonderful day.
Yep.